Hello everyone, this is the Professor with Professor Techie here in Claremont, Florida. And I made a video recently about how a bad technician messed up a friend of mine's computer. He loaded a pirated copy of Windows 10 after wiping out her machine, and he still didn't fix the issue that she brought it to him for. So this video is going to be what it takes to repair that and about how long it takes. Now I'm not going to show the actual length of time in the video because that would be way too long, because we're looking at about an hour and a half I spent on this project. And I don't want you guys to sit through something like that. In addition to that, I originally recorded these videos on this laptop, but unfortunately the laptop isn't really designed or powerful enough to be recording and transcoding videos like this. So they were a little messed up, so I've redone them in little bits, and I'm overlaying an image of me try to give you guys a better video and not have the messed up ones playing. So we're just going to go through the steps I took, what all is involved, what kind of time frame we're looking at through each step, and I'm hoping to give you guys a good understanding of what it took and how much effort this takes when someone messes up a computer like this. So to start off with, we're in Linux Mint. This is a live operating system. What that means is that it is not installed to the computer, but I'm still able to run it off a USB stick. Now, this operating system is not what I'm going to be installing onto this computer. It's just what I'm going to be using as a tool to pull her files off and then wipe out the partition table. Now, I've already pulled her files off, and I don't want to show any personal information of any of my customers. So I'm not going to show that, and I'm not going to show putting her files back on, and I'm not going to show anything on the screens that could give away her identity or anything about her. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what I did. Now I took and I opened up a program. This program is called gparted. And gparted is a partitioning tool. It is meant to repair, replace, reformat any parts of the hard drive's partition and partition table. Now I'm showing you the 3 partitions that come with the Windows installation that he put on there. And I don't want to end up with any rootkits or viruses that are holdovers written into the partition table, so I'm going to wipe out everything. Now this is not a secure erase. You could actually technically get the data back if you wanted to using a data recovery tool, but it is a wipe so that anything that was written there isn't going to affect the new system. A quick note about this, he did switch this computer when he installed Windows 10. For some reason, he switched it over to the legacy BIOS. Now, a legacy BIOS is basically what it sounds like. It's an older type of BIOS. Today we use a BIOS called UEFI BIOS. But even in those systems, we can switch it over to legacy mode to install older operating systems and things like that. Now, Windows 7 doesn't really install to UEFI correctly unless you do some special stuff. So when he told her that he had tried to install Windows 7 and it didn't install properly, so that she had half and half, which isn't possible, more than likely he had switched it over to Legacy to install it, and for some reason it didn't work. I don't know why, but whatever it was, he then installed Windows 10. Now, he installed a pirated copy, more than likely because he either didn't have a key or didn't want to spend money on the key. But this computer comes with a key if it's in UEFI BIOS mode. So I can't show you the installation, but we have a screenshot of a Windows 10 install, and this went fine. This took me about 15 minutes. We took and everything went through. It loaded up the license key because it's already pre-installed in the system. I didn't have to put any keys in, which saved me a little bit of money because some of this is at my cost, obviously. So we were able to get through all this. It worked fine. Pulling the data off originally only took about 5 minutes, so we're looking at a total of 20 minutes time spent already. So once we had the computer loaded up, I installed the recording software and threw some things in here, like that folder on the hard drive that's filled with installation files to install a bunch of different programs in here. I haven't installed updates. I haven't gotten any drivers installed at this point, and that's going to take a while. I forgot to grab the latest copy of Windows 10 before I did this, so we had some updates to go through. This was a spring 2017 version, so I had to go through the fall 2017 update and the spring 2018 update that just recently came out. And these take a while, and I actually had during those installations, I had a corrupted Windows update catalog. So I had to fix that, and that took a little bit of extra time. And it's not a big issue, just, time adds up and adds up. Now, had I used the latest version of Windows 10, this probably would have saved me about 30 minutes or so. But overall, this didn't take a whole lot of extra time, and I don't have to be in front of the computer while it's doing it usually, especially when it's going through these bigger updates. I can just come back and check on it and work on something else in the meantime. Now, after I got these updates installed, a lot of the drivers already installed via Windows Update, so I didn't have to go through and install a bunch of third-party drivers or anything like that. That was kind of nice. I did have to install two, a Dell Audio driver and the latest, the latest video driver. So we went through there, and I also installed all the applications that I had downloaded. I took and installed a PDF reader, media player. I took and installed Office 2016 and gave her a license key to that. I installed ESET, Internet Security Software, and gave her a license key to that. I also installed Firefox for her, and that's all I can remember. But each step that I go through in this, every time I have to install a new program, I have to wait until those programs finish installing, because you can only install one at a time. So I went through and I probably installed somewhere in the range of 10 to 15 programs, and each one takes a different amount of time, but it probably took me another 30 minutes to 45 minutes to install all of these. After the 30 minutes spent on Windows updates, after the 20 minutes spent wiping the drive and reinstalling Windows 10. Now, this computer has a solid-state drive. That means that it's much faster than the average computer. So if I took and started working on an older model computer that didn't have a solid-state drive, this would take a whole lot more time. Now, a solid-state drive is anywhere between 10 and 20 times faster than a normal hard drive. So this is a real performance boost. That Windows install could have taken me anywhere from an hour to an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours easily on an older model computer. So you've got to take and realize that this is a much faster computer than the average system. So it's not going to take as much time if I'm working on an older model computer or even a newer model computer that doesn't come with a solid state. This can take a lot longer. So once I had everything installed, I really cleaned up all of the bloatware that Microsoft puts in. It's a whole bunch of programs that they pre-install into their own vanilla copy of Windows 10 that they want you to use. And of course, my friend isn't going to use it. She doesn't care for games. She doesn't care for all that stuff. So I wiped out a lot of that stuff just to save her some room in the hard drive and not have so many things showing up in the program start menu. So what I did was I also went through and I optimized some stuff. I took away the thumbnails that show other programs like Edge. I don't want her using Microsoft Edge. And I wanted her to use in Firefox. It's what I had her switch to a long time ago. She may also use Chrome, but I'll have to ask her for that later. I took and made sure only the necessities were starting up at the start of the computer to give her a little extra speed. Of course, with a solid-state drive, it doesn't matter as much. And I cleaned up the tile thumbnails here in the Windows Start menu to give her quick access to Office, Firefox, a game, security, photos, things like that. Changed the theme so it looked very nice, gave her a few backgrounds that automatically rotate, and I just got everything pretty much installed for her. I got it all cleaned up, ready to go, and after this I took and put her files back onto her system, put them where they needed to go. That took me another probably 5 to 10 minutes just to make sure everything was there, everything was where it needed to be, and there weren't any duplicates or anything that was corrupted or inaccessible. So that's about it for this. Altogether, we're looking at my time spent about 2.5 hours total. Now, I wasn't at the computer for all of it because this actually, if you look at the date stamps in the bottom right corner, you'll notice there's actually a lot more time than 2.5 hours. I would work on this a little bit, and then I have other projects I'm working on. Obviously, this is for a friend, so she didn't need it right away, so I'm just kind of fitting it in there. But it was a long, drawn-out process. It took a lot more time than it needed to. The computer originally, the only problem was that the power plug was loose. Now, normally that's a power jack is broken, but it turned out that the pin inside the plug itself was bent. So I rebent the pin back, and it works fine now. He didn't have to touch his computer. He didn't have to wipe it out. I could have saved myself 2.5 hours time with 5 minutes, a little pick to move that pin back out. So, if you're facing an issue where you've taken your computer to a technician and it just didn't work right afterwards, or he didn't fix the problem, or anything else is wrong, and you're in the Claremont area, give me a call, send me a message at ProfessorTechie.com, hit me up on Facebook, doesn't matter. If you're outside the Claremont area, contact me anyways at ProfessorTechie.com. I will take and listen to your story. I will see what I can do for you. If I can't do anything for you because you're too far away, I may be able to recommend someone for you. So that's about it for today, folks. I hope you have a wonderful one.